If I had to do it all over again, I would just buy stocks. Let's talk about it. I was in the real estate game for probably almost 30 years. I guess that's telling my age. And, there was a lot of ups and downs in it. I owned like two flats, three flats, townhouses, single family, all those things. And it was a lot of money spent in real estate, from evicting people to court costs to repairs. The list just goes on and on. You gotta cut the grass or pay somebody else to cut the grass. It's you gotta do all kind of things, and it all requires spending money. Now, having said that, I would buy stocks. If I was able to do it all over again and start all over, start fresh with the money that I had put out in real estate, don't get me wrong, I made some money too. But what I've learned is if I was able to do it all over again, I would just buy stocks. Because what I like about stocks, all you have to do is buy the assets. You don't have to manage it. You don't have to go cut no grass. You don't have to do any repairs. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just keep purchasing those assets. And over time, it's gonna build up for you. I remember early in my career, and I don't know if they do this now. They used to have like a financial advisor come out. That's when the 401k first came out. And you probably remember this too if you're not too young. And they used to tell you, you can put up to 15% of your income into a 401k and you won't be taxed on that money. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not some guru or anything like that. I'm just speaking conversation. Now, if you really need to know the nuts and bolts of financing, you got to check with a financial advisor, which I'm not. So when they used to say that, you can make $1 million over your career if you put in that money when you first start working up to the time when it's time for you to retire. And that was so far away that I was like, I don't know about this. This don't even sound right. And I need my money. And really, I didn't need the money. And they were saying all you have to do, you can put in 2%, 5%, 10%, and the max was 15%. And some companies even match up to 5% of what you put in. So let's say if you just put 5% in, the company that matches up to 5% will put in another 5%. Now you got 10%. Or if you put in 10% and they put up to 5%, now you got the max of 15%. It was a no-brainer, right? But see, when you're young, you think you got all the time in the world to figure things out. And I'm here to tell you, you don't, because you'll be old before you know it. You think I'm gonna stay in my 20s, I'm gonna stay in my 30s, and before you know it, you're in the 40s and 50s. And if you didn't do the right thing for an investing in some type of form, and all you have is Social Security to depend on, you might be in trouble or you might not be able to retire. And it's a lot of people in that situation. But back to the stocks. Stocks, you buy it and you walk away from it. Now, sure, stocks are very expensive right now. But, you do have mutual funds. And mutual funds, you're investing with a lot of you're investing with millions of other people. And I didn't understand the way a mutual fund worked, and the companies that I work for, they really didn't want to help you with that part of telling you what to invest in, because if you lost money, they didn't want to be responsible. So I did like most people. I would just check off all the boxes and hope for the best. Maybe one of them will make me some money, and I really didn't make that much money in it. But then the more and more that start getting involved with investments, I've kind of figured it out. And what I learned for me that worked was that if you, I'm not saying you, I'm speaking of me now, not you, to go talk to a financial advisor. But what I learned was if you put it like, I would put like 40% in like a blue chip, which is a large established corporation, and then the S&P 500, which is Standard and Poor's, and that's another well-run. Those are other well-run companies. And then I would put money in like a growth fund. So I would put like 20% in a blue chip. I'm sorry, I would put 40% in a blue chip, uh, 40% in an S&P 500, and then I would do like 20% in a growth stock. And I mean, it really did me well. I was able to, see some profits. Um, and then you got individual stocks that you can buy. Well, individual stocks are kind of expensive, but at the same token, if you had like disposable money, that would be an option too. Now people ask me, well, okay, when you buy you a house, sure, I would buy me a house, absolutely, because you got to have some place to live. So yes, I would buy me a house, and I would buy something that I could afford. See, I wouldn't go out there if I don't make a whole lot of money, and I don't think they would give it to me anyway to go out and get a $500,000 house because, number one, you can't afford it. Number two, they probably wouldn't give it to you anyway because they go by your income. So I would buy something that I could afford, maybe a little fixer-upper, that don't require a lot of work. I'm not talking about something that you see on TV where they are total gut, where it's just terrible. That's for television. But I would buy something that needed minimum work, maybe some paint, couple of repairs here and there, but it's not like it's a total wreck. Because now you're gonna wind up probably spending way more than what you intended on spending because you don't know what you're doing. Leave that to the television folks when it come down to doing those uh, type of rehabs. But again, if I had to do it all over again, I would just buy stocks. I would be if I'd have bought stocks when those people used to come around when I was in my 20s and was telling me, and everybody else too, if you put your money in this and let it grow and not take it out, you could be sitting on a nice chunk of change. And you know what? I didn't listen to him, and a lot of other people didn't listen to him either. So, yeah, I would. That's what I would buy. I was listening to this lady on this video yesterday, and she was telling us how what's involved with opening up a gas station. And it was just so expensive. If it's a name brand gas station, you got to pay like a membership fee. Then you got to have assets of like 500,000 to a million plus. And then you got to have build out money to build out the gas station to what you want or build from scratch. Then you got to stock the gas station with all kind of food and other materials. And, then you got the taxes, the insurance, and all that other stuff. And don't forget, you got to have employees and you got salaries. I mean, who wants that headache? If you got that type of money to invest in a gas station that's going to be robbed from time to time, why not take that same money and put it into some really good investments like Nvidia, Microsoft, Home Depot. And, I mean, the list just goes on and on of things that you can invest in. And, you got the FANG stocks, which is Microsoft, Tesla, and Nvidia, and all these other big players. And, you can your money would grow and you don't even have to do any work. You know, you don't have to be bothered with it. You know, you can just, stock your money in that. Yeah, you don't have to work. You don't have to go get a job, sure. And you just take a percentage of that, whether it's $100 or $200 or $300 once a month. You put that money in there. You can do a mutual fund and put that money in a mutual fund and invest in like the blue chip S&P 500 and growth fund. Over time, it's gonna make some money for you, and that's what you should do because again, you're not gonna stay young forever. We all thought that, I'm gonna be young, I'm young, but you ain't gonna stay young. I promise you that. So I don't knock people that just got the businesses, the stores, and all that stuff. And we do need them because I shop at stores, and I might rent an apartment or whatever. But I don't want to be the one that have to do it. So again, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably be a rich man right now. Had I to listen to them people when they said put 15% in and don't take it out. And I worked almost 40 years, so it would have paid off for me. But I pumped all my money into real properties, and and you lose a lot of money unless you're a big corporation. They got deep pockets, but when people ain't paying rent, and then you got to go get an attorney, and then you got to fix it back up, and then they tear it back up, and then you got to babysit people, and I rather have the stocks because the stocks I ain't got to do anything but pump a little money in there and go on about my business. And if you like doing it, then you can check it every day. But if you're the type of people that don't have a stomach for, stocks that go up and down, which they do, but they always go up more than they go down. So that's my take on it. If I had a makeover, a redo, it would be stocks all the way. No other business for me. That's all I have for you. Again, this is Kate, back at it with a new video.